Weddings today are joyful occasions, filled with laughter, music, and traditions that seem timeless. But beneath the surface of these celebrations lie stories that are far stranger, and sometimes darker, than the cheerful rituals we now embrace. To truly appreciate the spectacle of the modern wedding, it's worth looking back at the bizarre origins of some of the most popular customs, many of which reveal how our societies have changed and how the meanings behind these rituals have evolved. The first tradition that often springs to mind is the white wedding dress. While it's now synonymous with purity and romance, the white gown was not always a staple of bridal fashion. In fact, for centuries, brides simply wore their best dress, regardless of its color. The white dress gained widespread popularity after Queen Victoria's wedding in 1840, where she wore a pale gown trimmed with orange blossoms. Her choice was more a statement of wealth and status than of innocence. White fabric was expensive and impractical, a luxury reserved for those who could afford it. Victoria's influence was so profound that aspiring brides began to emulate her, sparking a trend that persists today. It's interesting to note that modern wedding dresses aren't truly white. They're variations like candlelight, warm ivory, or ecru, but the symbolism endures, marking a bride's attire as both a homage to history and a display of elegance. Another enduring tradition is the father giving away the bride. To modern eyes, this gesture is touching, representing the transition from childhood to adulthood. But its origins are rooted in the days when daughters were considered property, exchanged to pay off debts, seal alliances, or climb the social ladder. The act of walking a daughter down the aisle was once a literal transfer of ownership, a holdover from times when marriage was less about love and more about negotiation and transaction. Alongside this, the bridal veil served a dual purpose. It hid the bride's face from the groom until the deal was done, and, in some traditions, protected her from evil spirits. Today, the veil is a symbol of mystery and anticipation, but its original intent was far more pragmatic. The role of the best man also carries a surprising history. In modern weddings, the best man is a trusted friend tasked with supporting the groom and delivering a memorable toast. Yet centuries ago, particularly among the Germanic Goths, his responsibilities were far more serious and occasionally violent. The best man was chosen for his skill with a sword and stood ready to assist the groom in abducting the bride, should her family object to the union. The best referred not to friendship, but to martial prowess. Even after the vows were exchanged, the best man would guard the newlywed's bedroom to prevent the bride from escaping or to fend off would-be attackers. What was once a dramatic and sometimes dangerous role is now more about camaraderie and celebration, a testament to how customs can shift dramatically over time. Bridesmaids, too, have a history that's both superstitious and strategic. The tradition of matching dresses wasn't born out of a desire to make the bride stand out or to inflict sartorial misfortune on her friends. Instead, bridesmaids wore dresses similar to the bride's to confuse evil spirits and thwart jealous ex-lovers. If everyone looked alike, it was harder for malicious forces, or unwanted suitors, to identify and target the bride. This ritual of protection underscores how ancient weddings were seen as moments of vulnerability, requiring measures to safeguard the bride's happiness and safety. Today's matching gowns are more about aesthetics and unity, but their origins are deeply entwined with superstition and caution. Then there's the infamous garter toss, a tradition that often elicits laughter and embarrassment in equal measure. Its beginnings are decidedly less romantic. In medieval times, wedding guests would attempt to tear pieces of the bride's clothing for good luck, sometimes resulting in chaos and discomfort. To control the frenzy, the groom began tossing the garter to the crowd, offering it as a token and allowing the couple to escape the throng and consummate their marriage privately. What was once a pragmatic solution to an unruly custom has transformed into a playful, light-hearted competition among guests, symbolizing luck and future romance. The bouquet toss, often paired with the garter toss, also has roots in superstition. The bride's bouquet was believed to ward off bad luck, and unmarried women would scramble to catch it, hoping to be the next to marry. While today it's a fun moment on the dance floor, its origin speaks to the desire for blessings and a prosperous future. Other wedding traditions have similarly odd beginnings. For example, the rhyme, "Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue," is well known, but its full version includes a forgotten fifth line, "and a silver sixpence in her shoe." Each item was meant to bring luck and prosperity. with the silver coin symbolizing wealth and financial security in marriage. Southern couples sometimes bury a bottle of bourbon before their wedding to ward off rain, a ritual blending local folklore with hopes for good weather. Even the arrangement of the wedding party carries echoes of history. The groom traditionally stands to the right of the bride, a placement dating back to when he needed his sword hand free to defend against attackers or objectors. Wedding rings are worn on the left hand due to ancient beliefs that a vein in the fourth finger ran directly to the heart, a romantic notion, if not anatomically accurate. As guests gather, registry printouts in hand, or bridesmaids adjust their matching dresses, it's easy to forget the layers of meaning behind each detail. These traditions, while charming and celebratory today, often began as practical measures, superstitions, or reflections of societal norms that are no longer in practice. The evolution of wedding customs is a mirror of changing attitudes, from property and protection to partnership and joy. Reflecting on these origins adds a new dimension to the festivities. It reminds us that weddings are living rituals, adapting to the times while carrying traces of the past. The white dress, the processional, the playful tosses, all are part of a tapestry that stretches back centuries, woven with stories of kings and commoners, love and negotiation, belief and transformation. So the next time you attend a wedding, take a moment to appreciate the traditions and the history they represent. Behind the smiles and celebrations are echoes of a world very different from our own. A world where every gesture had a deeper meaning, and every ritual was a reflection of hopes, fears, and dreams. In honoring these customs, we connect with generations before us, weaving our own stories into the ever-evolving history of marriage.